CBS 6 News starts now.
Elise Stefanik will make New York affordable and safe.
People in New York, no matter if you're a Republican, Independent, or Democrat, enough is enough.
Congresswoman Elise Stefanik making it official. She is running for governor, challenging Democrat Kathy Hochul. Just 3 days after Election Day 2025 here in New York, the attention is now turning to Election Day 2026. And even though it is still 1 year away, it looks like it will be one of the biggest elections we've seen in New York in a long time, as this long-rumored announcement is now official. Stefanik released a statement around 6 this morning. She went on the attack on Governor Hochul, once again calling her the worst governor in America, blaming Hochul for high prices and crime in the state. Kathy Hochul's campaign released their own statement minutes later, calling Stefanik a sellout and saying she is President Trump's #1 cheerleader. The statement also blames Stefanik for high costs because of the tariffs and cutting funding for police, schools, and hospitals. As you read the statements, you can already see the talking points from both sides. We can expect to hear over the next year, as both candidates will attack the other's record, and there will be name calling from each side. While they both will have to face a primary in the summer, including a challenge for Governor Hochul from her own lieutenant governor, both candidates are focusing their attention on the other for the race in November 2026. Now let's take a look at some recent polling between Hochul and Stefanik. In September, a Siena University poll showed Governor Hochul had a strong lead over Stefanik, 52% to 27%. A Politico-sponsored poll last month showed a much closer race, with Hochul's lead at just 5.48 to 43%. And then just 2 weeks ago, at the end of October, a Manhattan Institute survey found it was essentially a dead heat, with Stefanik actually having a lead of 43% to 42%. Now let's bring in the host of Power and Politics, Tom Eschen. Tom, you've been very busy today talking with several people about this race to get their reaction. What are their responses?
Well, it depends on what side of the aisle you're on in some cases. Some look at Tuesday's success in that election for Democrats and wonder if Stefanik's candidacy is headed to a similar fate. Others looking at Hochul's low ratings, thinking there could be an opportunity for a new face. You're going to hear from Chris Tague in a moment, a Republican state assemblyman. But first, Democratic Congressman Paul Tonko reacting in Rotterdam today.
And you voted to cut, and you haven't come to work in 6 or 7 weeks. I've gone to Washington imploring her side to come to the table. Where's the leadership to respond to the needs of the people in your district? You've advanced the programs of President Trump over and over again. You're a loyal supporter. You worship at that altar. Why are you not speaking up about Medicaid cuts?
How does Elise Stefanik break through to people like that outside of her district, outside of places like places like upstate and rural New York?
Well, I think it's very easy. She's a worker, just like Lee Zeldin did. You know, people told Lee Zeldin in the political circles that if he got 30% of the vote or more in New York City, he wins the election. The Democrats keep talking about an affordability issue. They created the affordability issue. Who are they trying to kid? They keep, in the last couple of months, affordability. They created it with poor policies in Albany. Very bad, ill-advised policy. They created the affordability policy. Now, Elise Stefanik and Republicans, we're going to fix it.
Now, that's Chris Tague, who had interest in Stefanik's seat when she was up for the UN job. Today, I asked him if that's still the case. He says he's had conversations about it and will make a decision after Thanksgiving. Those full interviews are going to be up tonight on CBS6Albany.com. And later on at 7, I speak with a political analyst who says, with a national dynamic at play here, too, the potential Stefanik versus Hochul matchup may turn into Trump versus Zohran Mamdani. Stay tuned. Bree, back to you.
Alrighty, Tom, looking forward to that. Now, the announcement from Stefanik will also lead to a race for her seat in Congress in the 21st District. Blake Gendabine, who already announced his Democratic campaign, released a statement saying in part, quote, "Regardless of who I'm running against, one simple fact is true. Politicians can't solve our problems because they don't live with them every day. It's time to send a farmer to Congress." And NY21 Democratic candidate Dylan Hewitt also releasing a statement on Stefanik's announcement saying, quote, "This is our moment to deliver a safer, stronger, and fairer North Country, and we cannot afford to replace Elise Stefanik with another Elise Stefanik." In the coming weeks and months, we can expect many more people, including several Republicans who have expressed interest in the past, to enter the race for the 21st. CBS 6's Sam Israel continues our team coverage as in the district to get their reaction to Stefanik's announcement today.
After Congresswoman Elise Stefanik announced her run for New York governor, I took a trip up here to Lake George, one of the towns in her district, to hear what people here had to say. And I heard from supporters and critics, and even those who are still undecided. Here's what voters had to say. In Lake George, reactions were mixed. Supporters.
Elise is a strong candidate, and she has a good shot at it.
Critics.
She's bad.
And those undecided.
Whoever helped the New Yorkers better is the one I'm going to vote for.
Voters pointed to issues ranging from the economy to SNAP to veteran benefits. Tom Wesling, a Lake George motel owner, supports Stefanik, pointing to Governor Kathy Hochul's endorsement of New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani.
I think Hochul's failing us. I think it's time to dig in and not let us make the mistakes of socialism. I mean, we've seen that fail miserably in other countries.
But two veterans from her district say they rarely see the Congresswoman in their community.
I've never seen her. I've been here 37 years. I've never seen her.
I'd like to see her have some town halls. I think the people would like that have things to say to her, and I think she's hiding.
They also raise concerns about veteran support and SNAP benefits.
That there's a big influx at the VA, and there doesn't seem to be enough doctors. Well, I'd like to see these SNAP benefits. There's a lot of older people, a lot of vets. There's guys that are in the service now, and they can't afford the food.
New Lake George cafe owner Eddie Eshmawi, who experienced his first summer tourism season, says his vote will come down to the local economy.
We need the economy to grow a little bit more. We need more people to come in, like advertise more here in Lake George. A lot of people saying that the tourism was like a little bit down this year compared to every other year. So hopefully they will come back.
Sam Israel, CBS 6 News.
All right, let's take a deeper dive into the candidates. Elise Stefanik was born in Albany in 1984, After graduating from Albany Academy for Girls, she attended Harvard University. She went on to work as a staffer for President George W. Bush, and in 2014, at the age of 30, she became at the time the youngest woman elected to Congress. After President Trump won the 2024 election, he nominated Stefanik to serve as the United States ambassador to the United Nations. But 2 months later, he withdrew the nomination so she could maintain her seat in Congress. Now, Kathy Hochul, she was born in Buffalo in 1958 and graduated from Syracuse University. After some local offices in Erie County, she was elected to Congress in 2011. In 2014, she became lieutenant governor when Andrew Cuomo was elected governor, and became governor in 2021 when he resigned after a scandal. Of course, we will follow this race for the next 12 months. If you haven't already downloaded the CBS 6 News app, now would be the time to do it. You'll be able to read much more on today's announcement from Stefanik and reaction from around the state. And if you have the app, we will send any breaking developments in the race right to your phone.